On May 31st, the Lawrence Journal-World posted an online article titled, "City May Need to Rebuild Community Building at the Village. Homeless Project Has Standing Water Near Electrical Boxes Used by Residents." Now, according to the article, the project's community building, which apparently doesn't have an actual roof, took on water during the last batch of rainstorms. The article also notes that someone at the facility thought it was problematic enough to craft a makeshift written warning on the wall of the structure to alert people not to touch the electrical devices if they're standing in water. James Chisholm, the director of the Lawrence Community Shelter, voiced his concerns, saying that this, quote, has been a concern of mine since day one, end quote. And it seems like the concerns regarding the construction of the community building have been ongoing due to the structure having a tent for a roof. Now, quoting straight from the article, Chisholm said, quote, "The roof is an actual tent that simply was placed above the structure," end quote. Further down in the article, the project's projection is for 3 to 5 years in operation. But if you've been down to the village and seen them for yourself like we have, you may have some serious questions regarding the safety and the assumed longevity of these pressboard shacks. The article does give us some idea of why this project was so haphazardly erected. Quote, "City officials have defended the process behind the project and said that the unusual development process should be judged against the idea that the city was in a crisis mode when the village was conceived. There were estimates and evidence of several hundred homeless individuals camping throughout the city, both in city-sanctioned camps and many unsanctioned camps," end quote. Now, anyone who has lived in Lawrence for any length of time can attest to the homeless situation. Indeed, there is a homeless crisis in Lawrence. But why is that? Why did our homeless population seem to explode over the past several years? Could it be because, in a quest to embody compassion, the city leadership deemed Lawrence a sanctuary city? Could it be that with that moniker, we unintentionally rolled out the red carpet to other cities to export their homeless populations to Lawrence? And what about in their haste to address this crisis? I mean, you know the old saying, haste makes waste. Well, you're seeing that in real time. This could have been avoided if they were able to couple compassion with common sense and not have acted out of a place of desperation to alleviate pressure from the public. This was a one-size-fits-all attempt at solving a complex and nuanced issue. When people manipulate compassion to fill the ethical gaps in their worldview, this is the kind of thing that happens. People are left out of the equation. The homeless population in Lawrence and the rest of the country aren't being seen as individual people. They're seen as a collective. And when you treat people who have complicated personal issues as a group, naturally some of those people will not be served adequately. Compassion is one of the most fundamental attributes humans can provide to each other. But when it's used as a substitute for, or completely uncoupled from prudence, potentially fatal flaws, like the one in the Journal-World's article, can and will happen. No one wants to see people sleeping on the streets. It's cruel to leave people uncared for, but the way our county and city leaders approach these elaborate issues is fundamentally flawed. It puts the emotion cart before the wisdom horse, and when you do that, you end up standing still, or in this case, in water.